Good evening. I'm calling the meeting to order. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting will begin at around 7 p.m. Item B, public comment on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comments online on closed session items?
There are no public comments on closed session items.
Great. Seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. We are now reconvening to open session. Good evening. My name is Lisa Chu, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Spanish interpretation is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Ashley Heil and Francisco Mesa. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Servicios de interpretación simultánea en español están disponibles para esta reunión. Para escuchar en español, en un momento va a haber un icono de un globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Haga clic en el icono y luego seleccione la opción para escuchar en español. Muchas gracias y la reunión comenzará en breve.
Thank you. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes, Trustee Shu,
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Present.
Trustee Martin,
Present.
Trustee Water,
Present.
Trustee Reiser,
Present.
quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. As we begin our meeting this evening, we would like to begin by sharing both our Napa Valley Unified School District's vision and mission statements. Our vision is that our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. NVUSD's mission is to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interest, and build resilience, compassion, and confidence. Item E1, report on closed session. Trustee Gonzalez-Mars, do you have a report on closed session items?
Yes, I do, President Chu. In regards to item D1, student matters, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Ed Code 35146 and 48912, Government Code Section 49060 and 49078, and the Family Rights and Privacy Act. Item D1A, readmitted expulsions. The board, a motion was made in approving all of the students being recommended to be readmitted from expulsion. The Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education accepts all of the recommendations from the recommended expulsions readmissions document for these students to have their expulsions lifted and be readmitted to the Napa Valley Unified School District for the 2026 and 2027 school year.
May I get a motion?
Move to readmit.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, first by Trustee Martin, second by Trustee Jankowicz. Ms. Morales, may I get a roll call?
Yes, Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Reiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Also, the board needs to make a motion in regards to recommendations not to readmit. The Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education accepts all of the recommendations from the recommended expulsion non-readmissions document for these students to not have their expulsions lifted. Student number 12112025E will have their expulsion extended through the first trimester of the 2026-2027 school year. The remainder of the students on the recommended expulsions non-readmission document will have their expulsions extended through their first semester of the 2026-2027 school year.
May I get a motion to accept the staff's recommendation?
Move to not readmit.
I will second the motion.
Okay. First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jenkowitz. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Ricer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
In regards to item D2A, personnel, in closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendations effective for the 2026-2027 school year. On a motion by trustee Martin and a second by trustee Jankowicz, the board voted to appoint Troy Giddings to the position of principal at Canyon Oaks Elementary School. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Ricer, aye. And trustee Water, aye.
Great.
Yes, that concludes my report there.
It seemed like you were taking a breath. We have a familiar face in the boardroom tonight. As we move through this appointment, we'd like to invite Mr. Troy Giddings, the new principal of Canyon Oaks, someone who's got a long history here with NVUSD, to the podium to address the community and the board. And congratulations, Mr. Giddings.
Thank you. Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Dr. Massetti, Ms. Page, Dr. Reddy, and Mr. Mangwala. I want to thank you for the decision to appoint me as the principal of Canyon Oaks Elementary School. Yeah, I should have just brought her up here with me. I also want to thank my family for enjoying this moment with me. And I especially want to thank my wife, Janelle, for encouraging me to take this next step in my career. As all of you know, this work is not done alone, and it is not done without the sacrifice of those that we love. Understanding the seriousness that the Canyon Oaks community, the executive cabinet, and the school board has had in choosing the next principal, I will serve with great care, respect, and thoughtfulness. Our children deserve the very best from all of us. At Canyon Oaks, we will provide our students with an enriching, inclusive, safe, caring, and equitable environment in which to learn. An educational opportunity to explore, challenge, take risks, fail, succeed, and grow. In seeking a collaborative effort of our teachers, staff, parents, Canyon Oaks community, NVUSD administrative team, our school board of directors, we will ensure that our students will have every opportunity to thrive. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I look forward to this hard and rewarding work in serving the students of Canyon Oaks Elementary School. Go Mighty Oaks. Thank you.
Thank you. And actually, Mr. Giddings, can I please ask you to help me do the flag salute today, which is our next agenda item of E2.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. All right, we are now on to item E3, announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video will be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. E4, approval of agenda. And before I ask for approval, I would like to move item J2A, under business services, the facilities improvement, citizen bond oversight committee presentation to right after the reports, item H, and then followed by the J1A, the budget presentation and public hearing.
Move to approve.
Second?
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Gonzalez Morris. May I, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed, abstained? Okay, motion passes. All right, now we are on to item E5, approval of minutes, May 21st, 2026.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, opposed, abstained? Okay, motion passes. E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Musetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
We have no representatives from our employee organizations this evening.
Okay, great. Since we have no students of the month, I will skip over to item G, public comment on non-agenda items. Trustee Gonzalez Morris, did we receive any public comments on non-agenda items via email?
No public comment on non-agenda items were submitted via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org before 8 a.m. this morning.
Okay, thank you. Before I open the floor to public comment on non-agenda items, I would like to explain the rules that govern this area of the meeting. The Brown Act open meeting laws under which we are required to operate prohibit board members from discussing items that you may bring up that are not on our current agenda. The reason for this legal restriction is to make sure that anyone who has an interest in particular district business matter knows through the board's posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board so that they may also be present and provide input on the item. We are very happy to have you here to let us know your concerns. Please know that while we cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, we are listening to your voices, and we expect and know that our staff will follow up with us on issues raised by members of the community. Relevant to the remainder of the board agenda, please understand that the board listens and considers public comment on the agendized items during our meeting. However, public comment is not intended to be a two-way dialogue between the public and board members and/or staff, and therefore trustees will not respond to individual comments. This is in accordance with our meeting procedures. We invite members of the public to provide input via public comment per our board bylaw 9323 regarding meeting agenda items. We welcome and appreciate the public's engagement and input. In sum, please know that your voice matters and makes a difference. Your public comment on agendized items might be referenced during our discussions and will be considered as we make decisions regarding agendized items. All right, anybody who, no cards today, right?
No cards.
All right, Mr. Michaels, are there any online public comments on non-agendized items?
Yes, we do have one. Norma Ortiz, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Thank you. My name is Norma Ortiz, a parent of a high school student. I would like to take the moment to recognize and thank Principal Maria Lopez Cisneros for her outstanding service, leadership, and unwavering commitment to students as principal of Valley Oak High School and Napa Valley Independent Studies. With more than 30 years of experience in education, Principal Cisneros has brought an extraordinary depth of knowledge, expertise, and compassion to her work. Throughout her career, she has been a champion for student success and has helped transform opportunities for countless young people. Among her many accomplishments, she introduced and expanded the AVID program, helping students develop the skills, confidence, and going mindset needed to achieve their goals. This 2025-2026 year alone, under her leadership, more than $65,000 in scholarships were secured for students, creating opportunities that will have a lasting impact on their futures. Her vision and dedication also helped make the Wellness Center a reality, ensuring that students have access to critical mental health and wellness resources in addition to academic support. As an exceptional Latina leader, Principal Cisneros has served as an inspiration to students, families, staff, and community members. Representation matters, and her leadership has demonstrated what is possible when decisions are guided by integrity, courage, and genuine commitment to serving others. She was widely recognized for her transformative leadership in education and was honored as the 2024 Napa County Woman of the Year by U.S. Rep. Mike Thompson. She has also been a strong advocate for multilingual students and English language learners. She understood that student success requires more than academics alone. It requires belonging, support, opportunity, and high expectations. Through her leadership, students and families felt seen, heard, and valued. Her commitment to education equity has made a meaningful difference in the lives of many families throughout our community. What makes Principal Cisneros truly special is not only what she accomplished, but how she accomplished it. She has never been afraid to speak up for what she believes is right for students. She led with professionalism, heart, and unwavering belief in the potential of every learner. As she moves to another district, I am genuinely concerned about the future of these programs and the loss of knowledge, experience, and leadership she brings. Leaders with more than 3 decades of educational experience and a depth understanding of alternative education programs are not easily replaced. Her departure should prompt us to reflect on how we recruit, support, and retain exceptional leaders who advocate for students and strengthen our schools. Principal Cisneros, thank you for your years of service, your leadership and advocacy, and the countless lives you have touched. Your impact will continue to be felt for many years to come. On behalf of many grateful families and community members, I wish you every success and happiness in your next chapter. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Michaels, any more public comments online?
There is no more public comment on non-agenda items.
Okay, thank you. We are now on to item H, reports. H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative reports. We'll start with Trustee Reiser, who is online.
Thank you, President Chu. Joining you from Los Angeles. Happy to be here virtually. Since our last meeting on May 26th, I attended our Curriculum and Student Support Board Advisory Committee meeting. On May 28th, along with Trustee Martin, I conducted the interviews to select our student trustee for the 2026-2027 school year. The week of June 1st to 5th was our most joyful marathon of the year. One of the best parts of being a trustee on the school board. It's graduation week. And I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to attend all of the graduations. So from Monday through Friday, adult education's graduation, Napa Valley Independent Studies, Valley Oak High School, New Technology High School, Napa High School, Vintage High School, and American Canyon High School. And also the American Canyon Middle School 8th grade promotion ceremony for the cherry on top. It's just so joyful. Many thanks to everyone on our NVUSD team for all the work that they put in to make those ceremonies just so beautiful and seamless and smooth and safe and just joyful celebrations. And congratulations again to all the graduates for the class of 2026. That week, I also had a meeting with our Director of Communications, Julie Bordez, around an ongoing conversation that she has with trustees around our board communications strategy and how to share with our community things that the trustees are up to and our priorities. And then on June 9th, just a few days ago, I attended the special board meeting, which was dedicated to our superintendent evaluation. And this concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water?
All right. What I did on May 30th, I went to the retirement of Sean Gregory, a long-serving math teacher, and your son took classes from him. Long-serving math teacher at Napa High. He also taught at community college, and wonderful person. And saw a lot of old friends, including people who were ready to retire when I started working at Napa High. So for a change, I felt slightly youthful. And on June 1st, I went to the Napa Valley Adult Ed graduation. It did not disappoint. The graduates had some incredible speeches, powerful, real. They had something to say, and they said it. And there were a couple of people there that I swear, if they wanted to, they could be running mega churches or fleecing people in some bizarre human potential scheme. I mean, except these people are sincere and mean good things. I mean, it was just incredible. We were all sitting there just ready to cry at these speeches. Just great. I love it. And then I went on the 2nd, I went to the Valley Oak and New Tech high school graduations, and also zoomed into a Napa County Office of Education meeting, and which was extremely curious. And then on the 3rd, I went to Napa High's graduation where I used to work. It was fun to see everybody. And on the 4th, met with communications director Julie Bordez, and then Vintage High School graduation. Yes, the joyful marathon, as Eve put it. June 5th, American Canyon Middle School promotion, and I got to present the UC Davis Robotics Award to a lucky student. And let me say that there are not too many towns where the former mayor directs traffic for a middle school promotion, and where the current mayor and one of the council members show up, sit through all the speeches, dressed in blazers, color-coordinated blazers that match the school colors. Let me add that those blazers are purple. I mean, the community support there is, really astonishing. And June 8th, I attended, along with Miss Trustee Gonzalez-Morris, a goodbye party for Principal Maria Cisneros, people from all the schools, lots of government representation there. And Ms. Norma Ortiz, if you are listening, I agree with you, but don't be alarmed. Her legacy is going to live on. We will have while some people cannot be replaced, we will have somebody stepping up to continue the work, which is too valuable to let fall by the wayside. And she's right. Principal Cisneros, who was my son's counselor at Napa High, and then she went to be the assistant principal, and then she moved up to be principal at Valley Oak, is an inspiring person. She worked her connections. She got scholarships for the students, and the continuation school has come a long way since I started out there teaching at the old Temescal. I mean, it has been a remarkable metamorphosis, and we are going to miss her. And June 9th, special board meeting and another meeting for the superintendent evaluation. I attended an NCOE meeting for a short time. And the usual community outreach, this time about our great graduations. I didn't think we could outdo last year, but it seems like we did. And thank you, everyone loved them. I've been stopped all week at the grocery store about, just how classy our graduations are. And people just love them. They just love them. And so thank you to Gloria and Alberto and Hector and Rob and everybody else. Thank you so much. And as usual, I have a book to recommend. Take this, Dr. Massetti. It's all yours.
I have the copy.
Oh, okay. Well then, how about you take it, Lisa Chu? This will be a guide to the folkways of Napa. And, maybe Assistant Superintendent Dr. Reddy would like to borrow it in case we, because we may be having a financial literacy course coming up. And this is about the LendVest scandal. And it is fascinating. It has many lessons for people. The main one is if it's too good to be true, it's probably really a bad idea. And the interesting thing is that the scams that we hear of today are being conducted on the internet, except they're not all conducted on the internet. People are still being preyed upon in churches, including in Napa. You know, there's something in the newspaper going on in Sonoma, and they found their victims at Napa churches. So it's really a good book, and it's written by a retired judge whose wife was one of our teachers. So I recommend it. And that is my report.
Thank you. Trustee Martin?
On May 28th, I attended the Curriculum and Student Support meeting. That afternoon, I had my check-in with Dr. Musetti. The following day, on May 27th, I attended the Vintage High School Choir Spring Concert, and it's been one of the highlights of my year for way before I became a school board member. So it's always such a beautiful experience to see what Mark Teeters can do when he has a teenager for 4 years. And I would also like to congratulate Liz Amendola on her retirement. So, and thank you for her service. And welcome Jennifer Kobilka, my piano teacher, as the new accompanist. So on May 28th, along with Trustee Reiser, I interviewed the potential student board members. On Monday, June 1st, I attended the adult school graduation. Then on June 4th, I attended the vintage graduation, and on Friday, June 5th, I attended the American Canyon High School graduation. On June 9th, I attended the superintendent evaluation meeting, and that concludes my report.
Trustee Jankowicz?
I met with Lucy Roberts. She is the CEO of an organization that is focused on building happy, healthy children in a digital world. The organization has many programs, and they work with school districts to support parents. And she's interacting with the districts about the importance of this issue and trying to create pilot programs. I attended the Board Advisory Curriculum and Student Support Committee meeting. I had my trustee check-in with Dr. Musetti. I, like my peers, attended graduations throughout the week. A few takeaways. Thank you to the staff for the enormous effort that it takes to seamlessly organize and manage these events. Thank you to the principals and staff for their commitment to ensure our students have the opportunity to walk the stage and celebrate the culmination of their high school journey. And of course, the students. Thank you for everything that you bring to the table. You educate us as well. I completed what I hope to be my final round of AEC proposal submissions. Our board members, in conjunction with other districts, submitted letters to Governor Newsom, Pro Tem Limon, and Speaker Rivas in support of the 4 legislative bills supporting student achievement and the prioritization of public ed. I participated in numerous CSBA calls focused on state budget implications and pending legislation. I attended the CSBA district level fiscal toolbox webinar. I too had my communications meeting with Director Bordes. I attended the Napa Valley College Foundation Women's Leadership Initiative meeting. I am excited to share our progress as the program takes shape. I attended the Board of Education meeting on Tuesday, as well as the special board meeting focused on the SUP evaluation performance. I attended the Finance Committee meeting, which will be addressed later in the agenda. And like Trustee Water, I continue to engage with our community, and that concludes my report.
Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Thank you, President Chu. I am on May 22nd, along with President Chu, attended a site visit at Napa Valley Language Academy. On May 29th, another site visit at Napa High School. And then on that same morning, also site visit at Unidos Middle School. And the following week, as you all heard already, that was the marathon of graduations. I could not attend all of them, but just in a blanket statement, first, thank you to all the staff for creating a space for our families, for our students, that requires a tremendous amount of coordination, flexibility, response, and creating not only a welcoming and fun environment, but also a safe one. And of course, to all the graduates, it was really fun to see them all with their dress up and their avid or by literacy medals and all these accolades and recognitions. And of course, you always learn something new when you hear the students speak and during their speeches, to be, first of all, so confident in front of thousands of people, and then so genuine and authentic in their journey as they are embarking in the new chapter of their lives and new careers too. Lots of graduates going to really fantastic universities or pursuing a technical education. And on June 8th, like Trustee Water mentioned, I attended the Principal Cisneros farewell celebration, and I think her legacy is already, for years, have already been working in lots of places in our community, not just in education, but I'm a product of her service since my years of high school at Napa High, and many others of my generation. It was nice to be at the celebration along with many other administrators of when I was there in high school. I almost felt like I was going to be called to the counselor's office, and my principal was there. So that was a little moment of flashback. But nonetheless, it was more importantly to be able to be with Maria in that time and journey as she reflects back in what she has accomplished. And she has already, I think the biggest gift for her is seeing her students across very different, not just in education, but in health and in politics, and in environment, and also in different places across the state, thrive in the way that they've been thriving. So I know she's already been so proud for so long. And lastly, on June 9th, performed one of the most important responsibilities and roles as a trustee is the annual superintendent performance evaluation. That's one of the key duties of our role, and we take that, of course, very seriously, and just enjoyed spending that time with my fellow trustees to conduct that evaluation. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. All right, in addition to the school site visits I had with Trustee Gonzalez Morris, I did a lot of community engagements and, of course, all the graduations. On May 27th, I went to a Highway 29 community workshop in American Canyon, where we discussed what might be changing on Highway 29. I'm very interested because all of our community has to go across the highway, either for the middle school or the high school. Following that meeting, I went to Canyon Oaks Open House. Thank you to Principal Stephanie Vasquez for the invitation. And I got to sit in the classroom with Ms. Julie Meyer Houston and met with 2 students in 5th grade who had substantial growth in their academics and are totally ready for middle school. So very, very proud of those students for doing all that hard work to get them ready for the next step. On the 28th, I attended the American Canyon Middle School theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. I just have to say, Ms. Summerhart is going to have wonderful talent coming up the pipeline. Of course, last week I attended all the graduations, culminating in Friday's ACMS promotion for my youngest son and ACHS graduation for my eldest son. So a really memorable day for me, as I'm really close to the cohort of students, both cohorts of students. So wonderful to celebrate with the community. On the 4th, I had a meeting with Director Julie Bordes to discuss board communication and community engagement plan. This Tuesday, I attended virtually the NCOE board meeting. And then yesterday, I had a board president's check-in with Dr. Musetti, attended the finance committee meeting. And my favorite part of the summer is the kickoff in American Canyon, where they have a street fair called Meet Me in the Street. And I think you have all heard me in the past talk about it. And this year, of course, every year, I go and visit the Kids Commerce section. The American Canyon Commerce group provides education for any students who wants to learn how to run a business.
How to be an entrepreneur.
How to be an entrepreneur. And this year, I wanted to highlight one student, Alejandra, who was actually a 5th grader in Bel Air. And her family had the business of creating these wonderful water bottles and drinkware. And despite the fact that they had started this about a year ago, she took the class, learned a whole lot of business, things that she didn't know about, including, teaching her family some of that, got a free business license to do business in American Canyon. So she's going to be at all of the Meet Me in the Streets this summer, so she can sell these wonderful creations. So I love that for our students. So thank you for the Chamber of Commerce in American Canyon for providing that extra support for our students who would like to go down that route. And that concludes my report. All right, we are now on H2, Board Representative Reports, H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
We have not met.
Okay. H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
Yeah. H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
All right. On to H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great. Thank you, President Chu. So good evening, NVUSD Board of Education staff and broader community. Thanks to those who are in the boardroom with us tonight. My report this evening will be brief, as I do not want to take too much time away from the comprehensive presentations that we're going to hear regarding our 2026-2027 budget, the 2026-2027 Local Control Accountability Plan, and the Measure H report, including the recognition of our amazing Citizen Bond Oversight Committee members. Tonight, I simply want to express gratitude to everyone who contributed to the successful completion of another school year. 2025-2026 is officially in the books. Thank you to our students, teachers, support staff, site and district administrators, of course, our Board of Education, and all of our families for your partnership, dedication, and hard work throughout the year as we aim to advance educational excellence for all of our students. As has been mentioned by all of our board members, our graduation and promotion ceremonies are always a powerful reminder of why we do our work. They provide an opportunity to pause, to celebrate the accomplishments, growth, and potential of all of our students. Congratulations, yes, to the class of 2026 seniors, of course, all of our 8th grade students promoting to high school, and our 5th grade students moving on to middle school, and then, of course, our kindergarten students, who may have also done transitional kindergarten by the time they're done with K, as they begin their next chapter of their educational journey in big first grade. As we conclude another successful year here in NVUSD, I just want to wish everyone a joyful, safe, and well-deserved summer break, even to our employees and staff that are working across all of our campuses in response to our facilities improvements and doing the preparations for the 2026-2027 school year. I hope they too are able to find some moments of relaxation amidst their summer work. I hope that everyone has the time and the opportunity to spend meaningful time with their family and friends, creating memories and restoring their energy for the year ahead. I'd also like to congratulate our newly selected student board trustee and alternate. I do want to, I know it was mentioned by both Trustee Martin and Reiser. Our 2026-2027 student board trustee will be Isabella Stroms from Napa High School. So congratulations to Isabella. And our alternate student board trustee will be Yelene Brielle Sakatani from American Canyon High School. We look forward to their leadership and contributions in the upcoming year. And I will dedicate some time with the board president this summer to get them both onboarded and trained. And again, thank you to trustees Reiser and Martin for their leadership and investment of time in facilitating the student trustee selection process. So thank you to all and have a wonderful summer. And now we'll go to the assistant superintendents who will report out on the work in their respective areas. We'll begin with Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Massetti. This week, we kicked off a series of summer opportunities for employees to learn the principles and practices of implementing an outward mindset. Arbinger Institute's outward mindset is a practical framework that helps us look beyond our own roles and perspectives to better understand and support the people we work with every day, including students, parents, and colleagues. In short, having an outward mindset helps us to see others as people who matter just like we matter. Why is the outward mindset important for NVUSD? It supports a culture of mutual respect and trust. It encourages constructive problem solving and enables honest conversations. It enhances our ability to serve our students, families, and one another. This week, HR sent out a video message reporting the results of our third annual Well-Being at Work survey. Participation reached nearly 50% of our workforce, with 857 staff members offering feedback. We are proud to report an overall well-being score of 92%, a positive 1% gain over the previous year. This data reflects a resilient team that feels genuinely supported, safe, and connected within our school community. One notable area for improvement was in our balance subscore, which was 41%. Many team members shared challenges regarding completing tasks during the scheduled day, managing work-related stress during personal time, and navigating feelings of burnout. It is not uncommon that people who choose to work in the field of education put in 110%, and sometimes we're not great at taking care of ourselves. We will continue to monitor this area and provide support. On a positive note, staff members also shared a deep sense of professional pride and mutual respect while expressing appreciation for our ongoing professional development efforts. Overall, NVUSD remains a stable, highly sought-after employer distinguished by strong labor relations, community-supported facility upgrades, and consistent formula-based salary increases. This will serve us well as we recruit and fill positions throughout this summer and beyond. And speaking of hiring, I would like to give a shout out to Mary Jarecki, Domine Marcus, Maria Lara, and Roseanne Crandall, who are extremely busy right now hiring teachers for the 2026-27 school year. From posting on EdJoin, running interviews, checking credentials, and making offers of employment, this team is in high gear and doing an amazing job. So thank you all for your incredible work. Thank you. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Dr. Reddy, are you? Oh, okay, great. So next we'll hear from Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Monica Reddy, who oversees the instructional support services. And I think she's including a presentation in tonight's report.
Good evening, President True, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent. We are providing, in lieu of my report, or as a part of my report, we're providing an update on Strategy 7 and the implementation of our Centegix and Visitor Badge system. I would like to introduce and have Joanna Navarro, who has been instrumental in leading this and has done a phenomenal job to provide that update.
Thanks. You can click it here as well. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for the introduction. My name is Joanna Navarro. I'm the Coordinator of Safety and Emergency Services for the district. And today we're doing a presentation about the first year of Centegix. So for those of you who don't know, Centegix is our crisis alert badges that all staff members in the district wear. And there are two functions on the badges. So you click it 3 times if you need assistance from your site response team when there's emergencies that can be handled in the school site. And then there's an 8-click option which communicates directly with dispatch, and then they deploy law enforcement. And that would be for a very serious emergency, such as active violence on the campus. Okay. So today we're going to focus just on the 8-click alerts. Again, the 8-click alerts is when there's active violence. We did have a few incidents this year. There was a total of 11 incidents that occurred in the district throughout the year. This was initiated in August, so this is data from August all the way until June, until the last day of school. However, something to keep in mind, even though we did have those false alerts, taking in mind that only 8 sites out of our 26 schools had one of these events happen. And then also out of our 1,600 employees in the district, it was only 11 employees who accidentally triggered the alert. So, I mean, although it does create a disruption, the data, if you compare it to the whole district, is not horrible. One of the things that we also noticed in the data is that there were incidents where the person that activated the alert just continued pressing a lot of times, so more than 8 times. For example, there was an incident where somebody triggered 5 lockdown run hide fights. So that means that they clicked their badge 40 times. A reason for that particular event was a medical emergency, so it was more of a panic. It wasn't malicious. None of these were triggered by somebody being malicious. It was just more panicking, trying to get help, thinking that if they continue clicking, that help will come faster. And here is how we sorted the incidents. So 8 of them were just inadvertent presses. 2 of them were medical emergencies, and 1 was for behavioral. So again, the key finding is that most events were inadvertent or stress-related, not malicious or misuse. So regarding the staff members that activated these alerts, we also learned that it wasn't a lot of, there was only 1 teacher and no admin that triggered accidentally 8 clicks. It was mostly partner staff, teachers, or 1 teacher, substitute staff, facilitator, office manager, nurse. So that means that it was more our support staff that triggered them versus an actual administrator or a teacher, somebody who is on the campus the full school day. So then again, what that tells us, what we concluded was that it was not a failure in the technology itself. It was more human performance challenges. So it was stress related, high stress situations, panicking, pressing, thinking that if they continue pressing, that help will arrive faster, inexperience. The support staff, they're not in the school the full day, so they don't get as much training as full-time staff members. So that really shows us that we need to offer more training to them and more reminders over the year of how the system is used. So again, this is just stating the system itself is functioning correctly. It does what it's supposed to do. So even though it was an inconvenience for the sites that accidentally triggered these 8-click alerts, it gave us reassurance in the district that we know that the system works. In each one of them, dispatch received the alerts and law enforcement responded immediately. So if that had been a real emergency, as a parent, I'm here as a district employee, but I'm also a parent, and that reassures me that my children are going to be safe if something went down in their school. Hopefully not, knock on wood. So this is our plan for next year. We're going to continue doing annual batch trainings for all staff, just to remind them of how to use the system. Summer is long, so people forget. This year, we're actually replacing the badges to an updated model from the company. So we are collecting all the badges, and then we're training all staff again. The badge collection should only happen this year, but we will continue training every year moving forward. Administrator badge training. So last year there's a function in the Centegix platform where you can put the system in test mode, and then you can go around and have employees click their badges so that they can get a feel for what it feels like to trigger an alert. Last year, I believe that we didn't do it as much as we should have, so we're hoping that if we have designated calendar for administrators to conduct these testings with their staff, then that's going to create more muscle memory, and they will get a feel for what it feels like. And also remember that it takes time for site response to come and respond when they do click it. That continuing to click, it's not going to make them come faster. We have Emergency Preparedness Week every September. This is when the schools do drills, and now they integrate Centegix into their drills. So that's another opportunity for them to get some training and practice on using the system. Again, we're going to create a calendar so that administrators continue training their staff throughout the year versus just when they assign the badge at the beginning of the year. and visual reminder campaigns, so providing resources and posters to the site so that they can have them to continue reminding their staff members how to use this correctly. Working with partners, again, some of these triggers were done by some of our partners that provide services to our students and sites. So working with them to also ensure that they receive the materials and the proper training throughout the year. And then also for substitute teachers, they're not in the sites all the time. So when they receive their assignment in the morning, reminding them the proper way to use this, having a QR code so that they can view the training video, which is only about 3 minutes long. And then in addition to that, we do have some demo badges that Centegix provides that they can actually feel without triggering an actual alert. They can feel what it's supposed to feel like when they press the button. And of course, working with our wellness team to provide any mental health support when there is incidents or even if they're accidental, because it does create a lot of stress on the students and the staff. So just provide some support for them. And of course, continue working with our law enforcement partners and first responders. So again, our focus area will be repetition. So repeated training, having them become familiar, get some muscle memory, what it feels like to, press the button, and hopefully that will make them be more confident in using the system appropriately. So. These are just some of the other other focuses that safety is working on to end the school year, which is already done. So again, we're collecting all the badges and then reassigning them when the school year starts. Of course, all staff will receive Centegix training. We worked on graduation on the safety at the entrances alongside with M&O and our law enforcement partners, student services. We're standardizing the protocols of Centegix and the visitor management system with the summer programs this year so that, it doesn't look different. Then people come back from summer and then they forget what we were doing again. So we don't want that. We want it to be the same. And then also a fire checklist for teachers to prepare their classroom so that they can pass their fire inspections more smoothly than previous years, hopefully.
Thank you, Johanna. As we close out, sharing just the updates around safety and specifically looked at some of the Centegix, overall, the 3-click provides that daily ongoing safety to allow us to be responsive. And I wanted to close out by sharing just some early California Healthy Kids survey data that we have. Johanna also led this process. We have over 90% of our 7th and 9th graders who participated, and then over 70% of our 5th graders and 11th graders participated. I note that because it is voluntary. They opt in. So we have high participation rates. And ultimately, what we want from implementing these is not only the physical safety, but also that our students feel safe. So I wanted to close out this evening with a thank you to the student services team who have helped implement this along with our technology team, and just share out that we are seeing positive results and continued increases. Our 5th graders this year who had over 70% participation, 81% of them noted that they feel safe, which is up from 79%, and it's 3 percentage points higher than the state average. Our 7th graders, 64%, up from 62%, and the state average is at 57%. Our 9th graders are at 72%, state average is 58%, and our 11th graders are at 68%, and the state average is at 61%. So we want the physical safety, we also want students to feel safe, so I just want to commend the team, and we'll continue to refine this as we shared.
Can I ask one quick question? On the new iteration of the badge, is the functionality going to be the same, like 3, is designated for X, 4, taps is designated for X?
Yeah, great question. So yes, it's still going to have the same function, but some of the new feature is that right now
when there's an alert that is triggered, the ringtone or the alarm that goes off sounds exactly the same. So it causes a lot of stress because you can't, just from hearing it, differentiate, is this an 8-click alert, is this a 3-click alert? So now it's going to have a different tone for 3 clicks versus 8 clicks. And the other difference is really that the battery can be replaced on the badges, where the old badges, you had to replace the full badge. Yeah.
Thanks for the
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees business and operational services.
Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. I'd like to take this time to thank Measure H. So again, I'd like to take a moment to express my... I'm going to start specifically. I'd like to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation to the members of our Measure H Bond Oversight Committee. Your time, expertise, commitment to transparency, and accountability have played an important role in guiding this long-term bond program and ensuring that taxpayer resources are used responsibly. Your oversight has supported the completion of significant projects across our district, including major campus modernizations, safety and security upgrades, seismic improvements, and critical repairs to aging infrastructure. These investments have strengthened our facilities and created safer, more modern, and more flexible learning environments for our students and staff. Your leadership and stewardship have helped build and sustain the community trust that Measure H dollars are being spent as promised and with a clear focus on student needs. On behalf of the Napa Valley Unified School District, I'd like to thank you for your service to our students, staff, families, and the broader community. Finally, I'd like to personally recognize and thank each member of the Measure H Bond Oversight Committee by name: Rebecca Schneck, Bill Barwick, Greg Ciappone, Greg Woodruff, Richard Beck, Stacy Freeman, and Craig Songner. We are truly grateful for your dedication and your willingness to give your time and expertise in support of our schools. This concludes my report.
The board will be recognizing them during the presentation also.
Yes.
Yes.
President Chu, that concludes the executive team reports for the evening. Thank you.
All right, we are on to item H4, facilities and bond program updates.
Okay, well, trustees, Dr. Massetti, thank you for having me back. The busy time has started. We have a couple items to go over tonight for future projects and then a quick construction update. Next slide.
And so we have 3 items for board approval tonight. So we have a surprise project, number 1. So for Napa High and Vintage, we've been looking at this for some time. The weight rooms are in horrific shape, and the buildings really are not, we cannot just update them. And so as a surprise for the community, we've been exploring this idea of a design bid. We came up with this idea of putting out a really aggressive number, and luckily we're able to find somebody who's able to build it. So just to kind of put it in perspective, typically a building that's, we refer to it as a stick-built building or a custom building, it's getting close to about $1,000 a square foot. And so what you'll see in this presentation tonight, we'll be getting it for about $500 a square foot. So very, very significant. This is not a Measure B expenditure. This is coming out of our facilities fund from Fund 40. So very excited about this. It will be off cycle also, meaning that this is not a summer slam job where we're gonna rush to get it done over the summer. Part of the reason that we got the good pricing is we're able to do it outside of the summer and just isolate this part on campus. So the weight rooms will stay open, the current ones will, and at the same time, we'll be building a replacement somewhere else on campus. The work will start in the fall, and in a perfect scenario, it could be done as early as the spring or potentially kind of bleed over into the next summer. So this coming year work, the following year, 4,000 square feet each?
I'm sorry, what?
4,000 square feet each?
Yes.
Yeah, very large 4,000 square foot weight rooms, which you'll see a little more about. The other 2, they're still exciting, but less exciting. And so Some portables at Vichy and NVUSD portables also. Next slide. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay. So the board is probably familiar with the design build methodology because we've used it on a couple of projects so far. So we did a request for qualifications, and from that selection process, we brought it down to two firms, Arntz Builders and JL Construction. Both have a history of working in the district, both excellent business partners. So we had a really tough decision. Arntz Builders and Motive Studio, who is a local architect here in Napa, whose kids go to the district, so that's kind of nice. They came in with very competitive pricing and really creative solutions to get everything that we needed. So we were really lucky to have two great partners and then come out with a great solution during the proposal process, which locks in their pricing and the look and feel of the building. Next slide. As mentioned before, we're around $4 million, and this is a non-bond funded project, and we'll be moving forward upon the board's approval. Next slide. All right.
So if you've ever seen a Costco go up, that's basically what's going to happen. So it will likely go up pretty quick. And so this is, much smaller in scale, but very similar construction, right? So the RMU blocks, is that what we call them? CMU blocks. So they're like big blocks that are put up. So if you look at a Costco, some of them are textured, but basically they're just big blocks of concrete with insulation in them. So they tend to build very, very quickly. And so this is part of what got the cost down, because what we kind of talked about in the beginning, and the architect and the team really listened to us. We don't want anything fancy. We just want square footage that we can put weights in. We want roll-up doors, and we would like to have HVAC in there. That's our basic requirement for this. And we don't want sheetrock on the walls, and we want high ceilings because we want the kids. We want durability. We want them to be able to throw ball walls at the wall and not damage it. So durability was really, really important. We can't have the low ceilings where the kids can reach up at the weight and damage it. So we need a tall ceiling, right? So that was all really important for this. And the kind of like what we're looking for is we're just looking for something that looks like a warehouse, like a CrossFit gym. So the intent is not to be pretty. The intent is just to give us lots of space. Next slide. So for the portables, $637,000 for the portables at Vichy. Next slide. At Vichy, it's 3 portables, correct?
3 portables at Vichy and 2 at MVLA.
Yeah, and so that's not the total price. That's just a component of the construction, right? We still had to buy the portables separately. Next slide. And so this picture was taken from my favorite place to spend in the summer, the roof, right? Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite things to do in the summer is to go look at construction site. It almost feels like a vacation for me because I'm not talking about numbers. I'm just looking at construction. So this is Redwood, and so the view is almost as nice as Silverado. They're pretty close. Next slide. Paint at the main gym starting to go up there. They had done the prep work and they're just starting to spray the primer on. This is Redwood also. This is a fascinating slide. And so one of the problems we've had at Redwood is we've had lots of leaks at Redwood. And so what's kind of fascinating about Redwood, if you look at the deck of the roof there and then you look at the overhang, it was literally built by 2x4s on edge. So it's kind of unheard of, the strength of that and the amount of lumber. We kind of expected to find a lot of wood rot, and so far there's just not any. And you can really, if you look at the overhang right there, they cut it, the way they take it out is, because what they're gonna be doing is, for the breezeways, for most of the breezeways, we looked at it like it's just not really a surface that we wanna continue with. They're gonna put a new metal structure over the roof, so they'll have a new roof structure on most of the breezeways. Some of the breezeways that are attached to the building and that are structural will need to stay. But you can see from this cut of it right there, you see the wood right there, that wood is not rotted at all. So you can see it looks like brand new wood. It's literally 2x4s that are glued together on edge. And so the way that they're taking it out is they are cutting it with a Sawzall, and then they take a piece of equipment and they just put a block under it and they just pop it up and put it in the dumpster and go to the next one. So it's been amazing to watch how fast this work goes. Next slide. I think that's it. Questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are now on to item J, presentation and discussion items. J2, facility improvement. J2A, Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, Measure H Annual Report and recognition of committee members.
All right, we're back again. And we wanted to take an opportunity to introduce 3 of our CBOC committee members that could make it tonight. So we're closing out the CBOC process for Measure H because we completed all of the work and spent all the dollars. And I'd like to have them come up now, if that'd be okay. And before we hand out the awards, I think Richard, who is our chair, would like to say a few words.
Say a few words. I'm Richard Beck. I'm the chair of the Measure H Bond Oversight Committee at this time. We're going to present to you the final report after 10 years, $269 million. 18 people have been on this committee, and we're giving this to you. I think that the most important part of this whole thing has been, beforehand, I want to thank all the people that have been involved with helping us, Napa Unified School District and Van Pelt, and all the Rob, Mike, and John, and Don Evans, who has also helped us out, and of course Kelly here, who really helped us out all the time. The most important part of this report, I think, is the fact that all the accounting is in it. All the expense paid, every dime to decimal points for every school and everything that was done. So in the future, this is on the internet, and you have a copy of it, and that's now on the Napa Unified School District site. And so you'll be able to see this. People will, if they want to know what snow school costs, somebody said, well, I don't know what. They'll know if they look it up. So at least it's available, and it hasn't been available in the past, and now it is. So let's hope that you continue that in the future. And that's what we got. So last time I was here presenting this, one of these was, it was 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, I know. We stayed. But actually, I think it was 1:10. I think I was home by 1:30, but... That's it, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We have plaques for each of you. So ladies first, Rebecca, thank you for your service. Thank you. Richard, thank you for your service. And Greg, thank you for your service. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, and we'll do pictures.
Yes.
I think the board would like to say a few things, and then we'll shift to, if you're willing to stay, and we can take some pictures with the full board.
Trustee Jenkowitz?
I just wanted to say thank you, and I might be going out on a limb here, but I assume this might have felt like a thankless job upon occasion. So please know that we extend our sincere gratitude to all of you. Since the passage of Measure H in 2016, you have generously volunteered your time and expertise to provide independent oversight of more than $270 million in bond funds. It's a big job. Your diligence, 170. 270? No. It's a big job. 269. It's a big job. Your diligence, integrity, and commitment to transparency helped ensure that every dollar was spent in accordance with voter intent, and that the public's trust was honored throughout the life of the program. And as you well know, that is very important. Citizen bond oversight committees play a vital role in K-12 education, and you guys are no exception. You provided accountability, transparency, and confidence that taxpayer investments were used responsibly. Your service exemplifies the importance of community members working alongside their local school district to safeguard public resources and support student success. And really, that's the reason we are all here. So as Measure H concludes and this committee completes its work, we thank you for your years of dedicated service. The safer, modernized, and more resilient schools that now serve Napa Valley students stand as a lasting legacy of your stewardship. Thank you.
And now we're going to take some photos.
I wonder.
Does
any of the board members before I go?
Trustee Water.
Thank you. And, I don't consider it a thankless job. I actually attended a series of your meetings a couple of years back, and it was interesting. Yeah, it is. It is. It's fun. And
Highlight your level of fun.
I know. Well, I know. I mean, listen, this has been a great night. An earlier speaker used the expression human performance challenges. And I'm going to remember that. I'm going to use that a lot. And, but no, I really appreciated it. And one thing I noticed is you do have the community trust. That's a big thing. And it certainly makes our jobs a lot easier. I'm being a little selfish now, but you all have very good reputations in the community. People do trust you. So thank you for this.
Dr. Musetti?
Yes, so we're very excited to receive the final Measure H report. I also would just like to take a moment to thank all of the members of the committee, but specifically Rebecca, Greg, and Richard. Thank you so much for your dedicated service and your volunteer commitment. As dedicated community members, you've definitely generously given your time, your expertise, your thoughtful oversight to ensure things that are absolutely critical when we're looking at bond implementation as a school district in partnership with our community. You've ensured transparency, accountability, and responsible stewardship of taxpayer money throughout the implementation of Measure H. Your work has really helped us build trust with our community while supporting the important investments in our schools and facilities. And some could argue that getting Measure H on track and focusing on transparency and accountability is really what helped build a foundation for the possibilities of Measure A2 and Measure B that are serving the respective communities of both American Canyon and schools here in Napa. So thank you for that contribution. Superintendents in my circles often talk about how critical it is to have dedicated community members willing to volunteer their time and expertise to serve on oversight and advisory committees like these. And we are truly fortunate. When I arrived here as superintendent back in 2018, I was so grateful that we had an engaged bond oversight committee that was willing to make sure that Measure H stayed on track. I did arrive here after 2 years of the start of its implementation, and I had been so impressed by the community engagement, the leadership that folks like you were willing to make. So thank you. Your service reflects a deep commitment to our schools, our students, and our community, and we're just really, really grateful for your service and the positive impact that you've made on the district, which will leave a legacy. But most importantly, please remember, as you do the work as a bond oversight committee, you really are doing the work in service to students and young people in the community, so we want to thank you. And now we'd like to take some photos and memorialize the moment. So hopefully you you came photograph ready. All right, ready, David?
I was thinking, oh, good, I put this in my obituary.
I'll send it to you via email.
Okay. Now we are on to item J1, Business Services, J1A 2026-27 Budget Presentation.
All right, thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community about our budget. So this is our budget adoption for the 26-29 fiscal year. Next slide, please. So I'm starting off, this presentation is following a slightly different format. So I'm trying to just kind of front load on what's new in this year's budget. So next slide. So big picture, what's new, very significant tax growth is projected due to capital gains from the stock market driven by artificial intelligence. And so we know that in California, this is very important. The vast majority of our income comes from, I should say, the income for schools or the income for the state budget comes from the stock market. In addition to that, what's happening is inflation is really, really high. And so inflation is in the between 3 and 4%, depending on what you're looking at. And so what we're seeing that's different this time is it's really impacting food. And so just the regular person, they're seeing some enormous impacts on inflation and their ability to pay and have a balanced budget in their household. So as we talk about the stock market and AI, again, the big question becomes, is the stock market overheated? Will there be a correction? Why does this matter? This matters because after stock market corrections, that leads to really bad funding for schools. So it's something we always need to watch for. In terms of the cost of living adjustment, a quick reminder that a cost of living adjustment, it's not a raise. It's additional money that school districts get to offset the costs of inflation. And so this year we are getting an augmented amount. So the standard cost of living adjustment is 2.87%. This one is 4.31%. It does come with some requirements, which I'll speak about in a little bit. I think one of the more exciting things that we have in this entire budget is a dramatic expansion of schools that qualify for community school grant. And so in this district, we've been working diligently in the background to just collect data from families related to free and reduced lunch. We have an electronic process that we utilize to collect all of our forms. As a result, the unduplicated count for our schools as a whole, the district has gone up substantially, and so we're definitely a beneficiary of this dramatic expansion. There's some additional one-time funds. This is the way that the governor has and the legislator have kind of balanced this dramatic swings in revenues. They tend to give us additional one-time funds. Also, this is something that's pretty substantial, is an increase in special education funding, not for new programs, but to help offset the contribution that school districts make to special education. There's a proposal to pay for school districts to be required to pay for maternity disability leave for 14 weeks. And there's a proposal to violate Prop 98 and underfund education by $3.9 billion. You'll see in a slide for this school district, it equates to about $10 million. So pretty significant amount proposed to be withheld. I would anticipate that $3.9 million will be reduced, but there will definitely be a withholding regardless. Next slide. So gross domestic product and artificial intelligence. So U.S. gross domestic product growth has remained positive despite slowing hiring and elevated uncertainty. Really what's happening is you see intense investment in certain sectors of the economy. And so this continues to create haves and have-nots. And so again, we still need to watch this closely. We need to watch the investment in there. And again, we wonder if this is happening too fast and too furious. Next slide. And so we can see this reflected in the stock market. And so these numbers are no longer valid. The stock market moves a lot. There's been, quite a few downward days. So again, we'll have to watch and see if that downward is kind of a return to the norm or if the stock market will continue its march. Next slide. So Middle East crisis, again, oil prices have been going up and down based on posts on Twitter, or I should say X. And so oil prices have been as high as about $120 a gallon. Right now they're sitting below $120 a barrel, sorry. They're sitting below that right now. But again, once you get long periods of time with high gas prices, it translates to inflation that's in the system, and it takes a long time for that to work itself out. So even if oil dropped to $50 a barrel tomorrow, there's already inflation in the system that will continue to have to work itself out over time. Next slide. And so again, why do stock market corrections matter? So if you look at some of these corrections, so 43% back in 1973, you can see if you look at the range, anywhere as high as 52% to a low of 17%. And then you can see the recovery time, it really varies, anything from 90 months to 7 months. And so again, taking the time that it takes to recover, why does that matter? Because if the stock market goes down significantly, the time that it takes to recover, that means that we'll have years of bad budgets. So again, it's just something that we need to watch for. Next slide. Another indicator on the stock market, this is Warren Buffett. Some of you may have heard of him. He has this measurement where he compares gross domestic product to the value of the stock market. According to his measure, it's pretty overvalued. Next slide. So I mentioned this early, so we really do have this going on, especially in California. So the story of two economies. So on one side, we have the AI or technology-driven economy, where California continues to receive a disproportionate share of national AI and venture capital investment, which continues to support economic output and productivity growth. On the other side of the economy, unemployment has remained pretty high. It's in California, it's actually higher than the national average. Housing affordability, elevated interest rates, slower construction activity, all this weighs on the economy. And so if you're wondering what side we're on, we're not on the AI side, right? So none of our employees are either. We're on the broader California economy side. Next slide. So additional funds for LCFF, so the base COLA is 2.87%. And so where that comes from is that's a measure of a basket of goods, where they look at and say, what are these goods, how much have they increased over the past year? And so historically, that comes to us in the form of an increase in the LCFF to try and help and ensure that we can maintain our buying power. And so because inflation has been significantly higher and revenues have been significantly higher, we do have an additional investment in LCFF of 1.44% for a total of 4.31. However, something has kind of changed this year where along with that 1.44%, the state is saying, well, we actually want you to spend this on this thing, right? So that's very atypical. And so the thing that we're referring to is additional 14 weeks of paid medical leave for when they become pregnant. Sorry, next slide. And so inflation over 5 years, you can see here. So at the low end, we're looking at 20%. So inflation has been really, really high. So if you look at shelter, 24%, energy, 42%, food, 27%. I would argue that food has even been higher than that. These are all categories that are very, very impactful. So if you take food, energy, transportation, healthcare, very impactful on our employees when they go up. Next slide. So substantial expansion of community schools. So on the left, you can see our current 6 community schools: McPherson, Phillips, Snow, Shear, Silverado, Valley Oak. On the right, you see this dramatic expansion of community schools. So Napa Valley Independent Studies, Napa Junction, Napa High, NVLA, Bel Air, Canyon Oaks, West Park, American Canyon Middle, New Tech, Donaldson Way, and Redwood. All of these schools will now be community schools, and they will receive significant dollars. Next slide. So just to kind of put it in perspective, our current allocation is 1.1 million, so we're going to 3.5, so approximately a tripling of the amount of money that we receive for community schools. Next slide. And this is the allocation by school. So you can see it varies from a low of about 115,000 to a high of 305. So the amount that they allocate is based on enrollment. It's a pretty wide spread. You can see something like Donaldson Way is sitting at 542 students, and Redwood is sitting at 899 students, but they're getting the same allocation. So we have no control over that. I haven't heard that it would change. I would advocate that it should change a little bit and kind of narrow it down a little bit, but we're happy to take the money. So it'll be a wonderful opportunity for our community and for our students and for our employees. Next slide. There's a proposal to allocate additional one-time funds. We will continue to be very conservative with these funds. Remember, when they give it to us, they can take it away. They've done that in the past. So they have allocated these funds and said, sorry, we need it back. We're going to claw that money back. And so part of the money we're getting is actually a repayment of money that they took away. And then with some new additional, at least proposed flexible money, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Typically what they'll do is they'll say, well, we want you to spend it on blank, but you can spend it on anything. So to cause confusion, they make a long list of things that they'd like you to spend it on, but the reality is when they use the word discretionary, that means we can spend it on anything. Next slide. So in terms of looking at the trend for students with disability, you can see if you follow this data from 2018-19 to 24-25, you can see expenditures have gone from, or I should say the cost per pupil has gone from $20,000 to $27,000 per student, but the funding that we received has remained relatively stagnant. So if you think about it, you can put it into three categories. So you have money from the state, you have money from the federal government, and then we make up the rest. And so the money that we receive from the federal government, you can see over time, it's gone from 11.9% to 8.3%. So that what that translates into, we've been receiving relatively stagnant money from the federal government for students with disabilities, but we're ending up having to make up that difference. And so for schools or for local LEAs, it's approaching 65%. Meaning that school districts pay for about 65% of this unfunded mandate. So the additional funds that we're receiving for special education to offset these costs, it's pretty significant. So in terms of what we would receive, there's a couple slides forward, matter of fact, go ahead, next slide. This slide. So we receive, so this is called AB 602 special education rates. And so this is the dollar we receive for every student, not just special education students. It's going from $918 to $1,340. So pretty significant increase. If you were to put it into perspective of like, how does that compare to your total budget? It's about 2%. So it's about a 2% increase. And so again, we welcome this. This will help offset some of the costs for special education. Next slide. Paid pregnancy disability leave. And so the May revision proposes to mandate paid disability leave for medical conditions related to pregnancy. It applies to regular certificated and classified public school employees. The leave is for absent. It must be paid by the district for a maximum of 14 weeks. And so since we haven't seen the language, but because it says disability leave, again, I would imagine it would be you need a doctor's note. So it's not 14 weeks for everybody. It would be in certain conditions. Next slide. So Prop 98, again, this is the law that was passed where we receive our funding. So the governor continues to under-appropriate the 25-26 minimum guarantee, but reduces the withholding amount from $5.6 billion to $3.9. This equates to about $10 million for NVUSD. So what the legislator, where they're going is there's still going to be a withholding, but it's likely to be smaller than 3.9 billion. Because again, like why is there withholding? Because our revenues are very volatile. Next slide. Continued funding for the after school program. And so the current year we're in right now, the funding went up to $2,750 per student. It's pretty significant funding. It's also having a large impact on our facilities. And so our facilities are pretty full right now. We actually do need to add some portables. And so once we meet the program requirements, we do have the ability to spend some of these funds on portables. And so we do need to add some portables to some of our school sites specifically for this program. Next slide. What are our local budget conditions? Next slide. So this is a slide that shows our enrollment. And so again, we do continue to project declining enrollment. I would say that it's definitely, our decline has come in at a much slower rate than we anticipated. There have been a number of things that have happened as a result that have caused that. So again, we'll just have to watch this closely. One of them being the expansion of eligibility of TK. Coupled with the after-school program, parents have the choice of saying, I can pay for my student to maybe go to a preschool program, or I can send my student to school in the morning for TK at 8 and then stay at school until 6, and I don't have to pay money. So from an economic standpoint, the combination of having TK and ELOP, it's been very valuable for our families, and so I do anticipate that's part of the reason why our TK numbers continue to exceed our projections. Another reason why our enrollment is coming stable, a little bit more stable, is our continued improvement of our programs and accepting students from other school districts or our interdistrict transfer process. Next slide. So this slide depicts what our budget looks like. You can see in the base year, which is 26-27, we do not have a deficit. We have a small increase in our fund balance. We do anticipate having a slight deficit in the out years. However, as has been the practice, as we've done for the last couple of years, probably the last 5 years, I should say, we do not anticipate adopting a budget with deficit spending in it. We anticipate by the time we get to 27, 28, we'll make the necessary adjustments to our budget, and we will continue to adopt a balanced budget. Next slide. So what are our recommendations and next steps? So approve positive certification for budget adoption, prepare for the formula implementation in the fall, and close the books for fiscal year 25-26. And with that, I open it up to questions, which I think is next slide.
Before I open to questions, we are going to do a public hearing, as that's part of our agenda. So I am now opening public hearing. There's nobody here in the boardroom. Mr. Michaels, are there any comments online?
Public comments on this item.
Can you please repeat?
There are no public comments.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Trustees, Trustee Jankowicz.
I mean, it wouldn't be a business presentation without my comments. As always, I want to thank the business office for a very thorough budget presentation. By this time, we all know how much work is required to develop a multi-year financial plan in an environment of shifting state revenues, enrollment declines, and economic uncertainty. But I really appreciate the conservative and measured approach reflected in this budget. What stands out to me is the balance between caution and what I would define as opportunity. I think the presentation recognizes both the strength of California's innovation economy and the risks that come with the state's reliance on a relatively small number of high-income taxpayers and capital gain revenues, as you referenced. It also acknowledges this local challenge we face. Maintaining a positive certification under these conditions reflects what I consider very disciplined planning and continued responsible stewardship. For school districts, that matters because California's revenues are heavily tied to personal income taxes and capital gains. A sustained innovation cycle might continue generating stronger than expected state revenues, larger Prop 98 allocations, and more education funding than traditional economic forecasts currently assume. And that sounds really pretty. But the brilliance of our business office is understanding what the upside might be and not reacting to the maybes. We can always leverage opportunity, financial or otherwise, if it comes our way. But the risks are not simply a market correction or an uptick in one-time monies from the state. It is whether the underlying economic engine driving these revenues proves durable over the next decade. And that's why we're stable. So we do not make decisions in a vacuum, and Mr. Manguala's economic forecasting has become a critical piece of our ability to navigate uncertainty, and our students directly benefit. So thank you again for your adherence to fiscal responsibility and your focus on maintaining long-term stability for our students and schools. And I really continue to feel privileged to be able to make these comments in a time where fiscal stability is out of reach for many districts.
Thank you.
Any other comments from trustees? Okay, well, I just want to thank you for giving us a great overview, as always, of our budget, and to be conservative, as always, and making sure all of our students are taken care of, because we are conservative in the way that we are planning the next few years.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will then move on back to item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote unless discussion of items are requested by a board member. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
First by Trustee Martin, second by Trustee Jankowicz. Ms. Morales, may I get a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Trustee Xu.
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Water.
Aye.
Trustee Reiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now on to item J3, instructional services. J3A, a public hearing of local control and accountability plan, LCAP, and LCAP federal addendum presentation. As before, like for the budget presentation, we will have a presentation and then I will open the public hearing.
Good evening again, President Chu, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Musetti. This evening, we will present the Local Control Accountability Plan for 2026-2027. Tonight's presentation will include a preview of the 26-27 goals and outcomes, a review of the 25-26 goals and outcomes, an overview of the educational partner feedback, proposed 26-27 LCAP updates, and provide an opportunity for questions and feedback and adjustments. NVUSD receives both supplemental and concentration funds based on our unduplicated pupil count. Unduplicated pupils are students who qualify as English learners, federal free or reduced meal program, and or foster homeless youth. The reason why they are called unduplicated is because if a student qualifies under multiple categories, they don't count twice. As we consider the LCAP this evening, it is important to note that NVUSD students and families are experiencing continual increase in qualifying as socioeconomically disadvantaged. I think Mr. Mangala's presentation just elevated some of those reasons. Since 2020-2021, the percentage of students classified as SED has grown by over 16.6%. Similarly, the unduplicated count has grown by over 13.3%. The increased needs of our students and families are addressed through additional services and human resources outlined in this plan. Currently, NVUSD unduplicated pupil count is 68.3%, totaling approximately $37.5 million. The LCAP development process is an ongoing process that includes progress monitoring of goals, data, and expenditures. Throughout January through May, we gather with our educational partners and share this data and gather feedback. Tonight, in the public hearing, I will present the overview of the LCAP and include there is a comprehensive report included in the item. First, I will provide an overview of the data required by the LCAP. This is a reminder that this data is in the rear view, so I will highlight, and it has been shared before, so I will highlight particular areas of celebration and growth that connect to the actions that we'll take in the upcoming LCAP for 26-27. The 26-27 LCAP includes 5 goals. We will review those, or I will review each of those goals throughout the presentation, so you can see them here, but we'll dive a little bit deeper as we move through it. For goal number 1, students demonstrated incremental growth in all 3 state assessments, ELA, math, and science. We attribute this to a focus on guaranteed and viable curriculum and standards-based learning, ensuring that students are accessing grade level standards through teaching, assessing, and intervention is a key strategy in our plan. This year, we continue to deepen our focus in these areas in ELA, math, and science, with particular attention to the gradual release of responsibility in mathematics at the elementary level, as well as an increased focus on science in the middle and high schools. Additionally, we continued our focus on the science of reading and our commitment to letters in grades TK through 5. College and career readiness indicators are priorities in goal number 1. NVUSD students demonstrated growth in the CCI indicator and graduation rates. We attribute this growth to increases in advanced placement and career technical education. As we transition CTE programming to NVUSD in order to strengthen career readiness through greater ownership, we're encouraged to see increases in our CTE pathway completion rates. Additionally, advanced placement and CTE continue to be a focus in this upcoming year. One area of growth is in students meeting the A to G requirements, as this is an area of decline from 24 to 25. Action taken this year focused on building systems and structures that allow for timely data collection and analysis, including but not limited to implementation of Aries 4-year planning, which allows for ongoing analysis of A to G requirements throughout the year. Instructional components of this action is ongoing engagement in the California Educational Partners on-track collaboration, which supports our staff with vertical alignment in English language arts and mathematics. It supports them with feedback-rich instructional practices and grading practices that improve student success with A to G requirements in the transition from middle school to high school. Goal number 2 prioritizes English learner data, specifically the English Learner Progress Indicator, ELPI, and reclassification rates. The ELPI measures the incremental steps multilingual learners take toward fluency each year. ELPI evaluates students by comparing their performance on the LPAC, the English Language Proficiency Assessment for California, from one year to the next, because it typically takes 5 to 7 years for a student to reach full academic English proficiency. The standard 4 performance levels of the state exam are split into 6 detailed ELPI levels for accountability purposes. This ensures that even small, steady gains are accurately tracked. A student counts as making progress if they advance by at least 1 ELPI level from the prior year, for example, moving from level 2 high to level 3 low, or maintaining a level 4, the highest performance level from the prior year without dropping. The school's final ELPI score is calculated by adding the number of students who advanced a level or maintained a level 4 divided by the number of English learners in your district. There was minimal growth overall for multilingual learners in ELPI and a decline in the reclassification rates. The focused attention of a new director of multilingual learner services is supporting the refinement of these efforts, which started in the fall with the comprehensive gap analysis of MLL and long-term English language learner progress, leading to revisions of the MLL master plan. This analysis revealed a critical need to strengthen designated ELD time across TK-12, provide instructional feedback through site-level learning walks focused on ELD standards, grouping strategies, and language intentionality. The intentional focus on MLLs, the secondary level, is rendering results. Over the past 3 years, we have adopted and implemented new designated curricular resources and most recently added specific supplemental resources that target our long-term English language learner needs. The dashboard indicator indicates the overall English learner progress in the ELPI. However, with the addition of long-term English language learner data, we are able to see that within the ELPI levels, our long-term English language learners actually increased 9.6% on their ELPI from 2024 to 2025. Goal number 3 focuses on perception data from NVUSD families. In the 2024-2025 LCAP, with the transition to the new strategic plan, we align the metrics in goal number 3 to the new annual benchmark survey. This tool better reflects the diverse experiences of our families and provides clearer data aligned to our newly adopted indicators of success. This is our first year with comparative data in 3 areas: percentage of families who report 1, an increased sense of belonging and welcome in NVUSD schools and the district office. Their school and NVUSD cares about their experiences and opinions when making changes. They know how to share their thoughts about their child's learning experience. There was an increase in all 3 areas. This does not include parents or legal guardians who indicated that they do not agree or disagree. We attribute this growth to continued success with our community parent liaisons who served as effective bridges between school and home. To build on this foundation with a new director of multilingual learner services and parent engagement this year, the community parent liaisons received increased training and professional support while parents gained access to more robust and structured learning through ELAC, DLAC, and our district academic committee training. Parent learning expanded significantly in the area of college and career readiness through a new partnership with the STARS College Network. Under this initiative, the district hosted in-person college nights and provided access to an ongoing webinar series featuring various topics and college partners. Additionally, for the first time, the College and Career Readiness team hosted an 8th to 9th grade transition webinar to prepare students for high school. Attendance for these events was significant, and the feedback from participants was overwhelmingly positive. Later, I will share how we are codifying some of these actions, contributing to improved family perception data within the development of a broader family engagement framework as a part of Strategy 10. The California Healthy Kids Survey, often referred to as CHECS, is given to students in grades 5, 7, 9, and 11. The CHECS survey provides multiple measures. There are 3 that are monitored in the LCAP: connection to school, positive relationships with adults, and students feel safe or very safe at school. Participation for students is over 70% for each grade level. Overall, the CHECS data shows an increase in all categories and grade levels, except in 9th grade, where there was a decrease in students' relationships with an adult. We currently have early CHECS data, and it is demonstrating growth in all grades for each indicator. The continual growth in California Healthy Kids is attributed to the ongoing focus on inclusive, welcoming, and safe schools. The district maintains fully staffed wellness centers across all middle schools and high schools while supporting tiered health services at the elementary level through internal staffing and external partners with community-based organizations. Safety continues to be a priority with the implementation of Centegix and visitor badge systems and the development and implementation of new emergency protocols, which you heard earlier this evening. Later, I will share how the development of the NVUSD Health and Wellness Framework, which defines a cohesive, sustainable, and tiered systematic approach to student well-being, will be leveraged as a guiding framework for 26-27. And finally, goal number 4, chronic absenteeism and suspension are metrics where we want to see a decrease. We saw incremental improvements in both indicators from 2024 to 2025. Through a whole child approach supported by attendance teams that include community parent liaisons and social workers, we continue to support the elimination of barriers to school attendance. At community schools, this expanded through additional services. The student services team continues to train, calibrate, and respond to student behaviors. Assistant principal meetings and ongoing coaching from the student services team results in regular reviews of discipline data and responses to identify areas of growth that need addressed at the school site. Educational partner feedback is a critical part of the LCAP development. Since January, we have engaged with the following educational partners: families through our annual benchmark survey, the NVUSD Superintendent Parent Advisory, our District English Learner Advisory Committee, our District Advisory Committee, Title I, which represents our schools who have high socioeconomically disadvantaged student populations, NVUSD's Superintendent Teacher Advisory, our Student Advisory, our Special Education Advisory, and our management team. Students, staff, and families through these engagement sessions identified the following academic support and intervention needs: a desire for after-school and one-on-one or peer-led tutoring, effective use of prevention and intervention tools to support math and reading, career exposure and exploration at elementary and middle school levels, integration of financial literacy, timely counseling and support for college and career readiness, and clarity, equity, and alignment with our grading practices, especially at the secondary level. For LCAP goal number 2, the following feedback emerged: prioritizing high-impact Tier 1 instruction for all students, enhancing our designated English language development time, or also known as ELD, accelerating reclassification for our long-term English language learners at the middle and high school level, and strengthening dedicated support systems for our newcomers. Student well-being and safety is a priority based on our educational partner feedback. Our families and students and staff continue to want an expansion of translated resources in multiple languages. Parent workshops focused on supporting their child's academics, specifically in the areas of how to use ARIES, Parent Square, math, and reading supports, and demystifying grading practices so parents better understand where their students are and where they need to be in their learning so that they can help provide support. Additionally, they always advocate for the increased support from our community parent liaisons to build a bridge with families. It just elevates to me how important that role is as a bridge from school to home. And lastly, LCAP goal number 4. Educational partners shared a need for support in these specific areas. Increased health and wellness services, this came up especially at the elementary level. Focus on timely and responsive prevention and intervention. Investment in wellness spaces. We have wellness spaces at our secondary level, but looking at how we can provide those in our elementary schools. Continued focus within the classroom. Let me be clear about that. Sensory areas, flexible seatings, how to look within the classroom of an elementary school. Continued focus on supporting behavioral and safety needs, and there is a request for digital education such as social media safety and healthy technology use. I think as we implemented a new cell phone policy, it's elevated the need for now that next support, which is how to use it appropriately when you are allowed to use it. Based on our analysis of the data, survey results, and educational partner feedback, we have made updates to the 2026-2027 LCAP. The 2026-2027 LCAP aligns with our strategic plan. While the LCAP supports all 15 strategies, it places primary emphasis on strategies 1 through 7, 10, and 13. Strategies 9, 11, 12, 14, and 15 also contribute to successful implementation and long-term sustainability. These primary strategies that you'll see in strategies 1 through 4 take a whole child approach to ensuring students develop the graduate portrait elements. We seek for students to feel safe, included, and well, along with feeling confident in their knowledge and acquisition of skills. Our data shows that growth in academic, behavioral, and social emotional skills can happen simultaneously and often complement each other. LCAP goal Number one, continues our focus on college and career readiness with 4 targeted areas: language and literacy support, mathematics, comprehensive assessment system, and work-based learning experiences. These align to our strategic plan strategies 1, 2, and 3 and are measured by CASP and our college and career readiness indicator. The continuation of these areas of focus allows for an approach to deepen and strengthen through the use of assessment data to make small, doable shifts that address patterns and trends in literacy and mathematics, which ultimately impact college and career readiness over the course of a child's TK-12 journey. As we consider the feedback and data, we will continue our focus on literacy, specifically developing phonemic awareness while deepening our focus on language comprehension and writing, TK-12, with a particular emphasis on grades 3 through 12. This means that we will continue our focus on the science of reading, beginning with early literacy through the LETTERS cohort model. In year 4 of this model, we are shifting our priorities to embedded site-level coaching and support to ensure the strategies are regular routines in the classroom. District academic specialists, TOSAs, student supports at the sites, and principals will engage in LETTERS language and literacy, classroom observations, and coaching twice a month using the LETTERS coaching best practices. We will continue our focus on guaranteed and viable curriculum. This includes developing an understanding across ELA, history, and science of the rigor as defined in the Common Core state standards. Rigor is defined by cognitive depth. It relies on 3 primary shifts: text complexity, where students regularly grapple with grade-level content-rich texts rather than watered-down summaries. Rigor means providing scaffolds so struggling readers can access the complex text rather than replacing the text with an easier one. Evidence-based grounding, moving away from opinion or personal narrative alone. Rigor means writing and speaking are strictly grounded in data documents and textual evidence. If a student makes a claim in science and history, they must cite the explicit line or data point that proves it. And lastly, academic language, moving beyond basic definitions to conceptual understanding, and actively using Tier 2 and Tier 3 domain-specific vocabulary in their own speech and writing. Second, district and site teams will use end-of-unit ELA assessment data to provide embedded support to teachers focused on language comprehension and instruction. This includes strengthening background knowledge, vocabulary, understanding of language structures, verbal reasoning, and literacy knowledge. In addition to CASP data, early analysis of the district writing assessment in grades K through 5 in comparison to the pilot common assessments in 6 through 12 demonstrates a discrepancy in the rigor that needs to be addressed. Through the implementation of common ELA assessments and expansion to a TK-12 DWA aligned to CASP, we will strengthen alignment of rigor to the grade level standard in writing and support improvements. We have noticed that our students at the elementary level and the degree to which they're writing needs to elevate our middle and high school, because there is a discrepancy between what we're expecting our 5th graders to do, and there should be more rigor at our middle and high school levels when it comes to our expectations around writing. It's important to note that the development of language comprehension is not the sole responsibility of ELA teachers. Many tasks require students to connect to prior knowledge and comprehend new knowledge through reading and writing in both science and history social science. As such, we are incorporating writing revolution strategies into the teacher professional release days, unit planning for secondary science and history social science next year. Although we have a clear plan, we will also assess and refine this approach by examining CASP ELA scores down to the claim and target level to ascertain areas of growth. Overall, CASP math continues to show incremental growth, especially at the elementary level. We attribute this to 2 actions. First, throughout the year, elementary teachers engaged in structured coaching to deeply understand grade level math standards and align their instruction, assessment, and intervention to those standards. Second, elementary teachers and secondary math teachers engaged in high-impact instructional team focused on strengthening direct modeling prior to guided practice. Because of this success, we are expanding this approach to math at the secondary level, where student data shows a persistent need for support with procedural mathematics or procedural fluency. Secondary math teachers will engage in professional development, learning in direct modeling aligned to the rigor of the standard. The district academic specialists, site administrators, and teacher teams will engage in learning walks that support the use of direct modeling and ensure that we're making progress with that at the secondary level. Assessment is an elevated priority for 26-27 as it is essential to continuous improvement in all contents, with particular attention to our assessed subjects on the CASP being ELA, math, and science. We will codify an assessment framework outlining the different types of assessments and how the data will be used to support student outcomes. ELA and math will implement common end-of-unit assessments and data analysis within professional learning communities. The usage of a new assessment platform, DNA, to support common end-of-unit assessments will allow for data in a timely manner so teams can engage in analysis and timely instructional shifts. Building upon the foundation of structures and systems developed in 25-26, our focus for this year with college and career readiness will continue and deepen these critical initiatives. We will fully implement the 6 through 12 scope and sequence for college and career exploration within the California Colleges Guidance Initiative platform, while consistently utilizing Aries academic four-year plans to guide student course enrollment and drive master schedule decisions. Furthermore, we're committed to strengthening and developing our career technical education pathways and expanding student access to meaningful work-based learning experiences using school links. We used that at New Tech and American Canyon High School last year. We learned from that pilot, and we plan to expand to all schools. Alongside this effort, we will expand the College Board Assessment Suite to include the PSAT 8-9 and PSAT 10 to better prepare our students for the SAT. Insights from our STARS partnership show that advanced placement coursework is a most consistent national indicator for college admission. We will use this testing data to identify AP potential, ensuring ready students have access to the advanced coursework while positioning every student to do their best on the SAT. LCAP goal number 2 focuses on high impact Tier 1 instruction and targets actions that support our English language learners. This aligns to strategies 1 and 6, and the data that we look at is ELPI and reclassification. During the first year of developing an instructional framework, we achieved early success by focusing on direct modeling during the I-Do phase, which significantly improves students' engagement, academic language, and clarity regarding standard expectation. As we transition into year 2, the high-impact instructional team will build upon these wins by finalizing the HIT instructional framework and expanding it to focus on the we do and you do portion. Additionally, we will deepen our practice-based learning by piloting an instructional coaching model and introducing new professional learning modalities such as lesson studies, learning walks, and collaborative planning. Ultimately, these ongoing efforts and instructional strategies will be continuously disaggregated and reassessed using incoming STAR and CASP data to measure their true impact on student achievement. Reflections on prior practices with English language development have led to several strategic pivots for from 25-26 to 26-27. A primary shift is the introduction of designated ELD learning walks, which provide a structured feedback loop for teachers on critical markers such as language intentionality, cross-cultural connections, and proficiency-based grouping. To address past inconsistencies in instructional delivery, the district has established a firm mandate of 150 minutes to designated ELD per week at the elementary level. Additionally, the instructional model is being revised to ensure that all proficiency levels, specifically newcomers, receive tailored support, with Title I schools now encouraged to implement cross-grade level leveling to better encourage students and aggregate and serve them at the level of language that they need. At the secondary level, the district is introducing specialized technology and pedagogical supports to combat the unique needs of our LTELs. We have seen, as you saw in the data, with our ELPI improvements for our LTELs, and we'll continue that. This includes the adoption of K-12 Summit, which we piloted this year, and the potential implementation of Avid Excel in the middle schools to bridge the academic gap and help them reclassify before they enter high school. To ensure these tools are used effectively, our TOSAs will now engage in district-level PLC with our Director of Multilingual Learner Services. And finally, integrated ELD strategies will be assessed and embedded into the instructional framework as we develop it. LCAP goal number 3 focuses on family communication, engagement, and advocacy. This aligns to strategy 4 and 10. We measure this with the annual benchmark survey. To advance goal number 3, NVUSD will focus on standardizing district-wide practices and building scalable systems of support in preparation for the expansion of the community schools model. Central to these next steps is the development of a comprehensive family engagement framework, guided by a dedicated advisory alongside an expanded parent learning series that targets college readiness, technology, and academic support at home. Additionally, the district will maintain targeted ELAC training to foster robust parent leadership and ensure operational alignment across our school sites so that from one school to the next, the experience and advocacy of our English learner families is similar. Finally, NVUSD will leverage internal capacity transition to a new service model for our family resource centers, leading a collaborative planning process to redefine internal roles while sustaining our ongoing partnership with On the Move. And finally, LCAP goal number 4 focuses on 4 key actions: wellness, MTSS, inclusive and welcoming schools, and safety. These align to 4 strategic plan strategies, strategy 3, 4, 5, and 7. Growth in these areas are measured by strategic indicators in chronic absenteeism, suspension rates, and the California Healthy Kids survey. I want to highlight the goal number 1 focused on academics, and goal number 4 focused on prevention and intervention go hand in hand. Ensuring prevention and intervention in the realms of safety, inclusion, health, and wellness are foundational to academic achievement and progress. As we implement the new NVUSD Health and Wellness Framework in 26-27, the district will refine and strengthen the daily consistent usage of positive behavioral interventions and supports, PBIS, and social emotional learning, SEL, across all sites. Within school wellness centers, a consistent staffing model will be implemented to provide reliable tiered prevention and targeted mental health interventions in partnership with additional services and supports provided by our community-based organizations. And finally, the secure long-term funding for these vital resources, the district will develop and implement the California Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, CYBHI, fee-payer system, allowing the district and community-based organizations to bill for eligible multi-tiered student supports. The MTSS framework will be fortified through deep digital integration and standardized site practices. To streamline intervention tracking, the district will train staff on the EduClimber platform. Site-based coordination of services teams, also known as COST, will be implemented across all campuses, utilizing EduClimber to analyze student data and track individualized progress monitoring. Furthermore, the district will focus heavily on capacity building, empowering Tier 2 prevention teams to meet unique site needs, expanding the discipline toolkit to diversify Tier 2 responses to behaviors, implementing specialized behavior academies, and training teachers to leverage EduClimber for data literacy within their professional learning communities to address academic interventions. As we've spent the last year assessing MTSS, a clear gap in our system has been the academic, social, and behavioral interventions needed at that Tier 2 level and will be a focus of 26-27. To cultivate environments where every student feels safe and valued, the district is prioritizing anti-bullying measures and digital literacy. A primary initiative is a rollout of the Safe School Ambassadors program, which will be piloted across middle schools alongside select elementary and high schools. This approach proactively decreases harassment and bullying through peer-led interventions. Simultaneously, the district will tackle digital environments by adopting a structured scope and sequence for the digital citizenship curriculum across grades kindergarten through 8th grade, while refining digital literacy support systems for our high school students. These efforts will be supported by a partnership with Common Sense Media. To extend these healthy technology habits to the home, workshops will be provided for parents focusing on screen time, social media awareness, and responsible cell phone use. And finally, the safety strategy centers on rigorous compliance, early intervention, and highly coordinated threat management. General and special education staff will continue to receive specialized de-escalation and regulation training, which embeds continuous data analysis and progress monitoring to track its classroom efficacy. Furthermore, the district is significantly strengthening its behavioral threat assessment and management capabilities. This will be achieved by establishing and training site-based multidisciplinary threat assessment teams tasked with implementing standardized processes, training administrators to identify concerning behaviors early, and coordinating closely with our local law enforcement and community partners to strictly monitor site compliance to ensure timely, uniform responses to threats. Because of the effective fiscal management supported by the Superintendent, Business Services, and Human Resources, along with the Board of Education, NVUSD continues to sustain additional support through our Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant funds. While many school districts have depleted these funds, NVUSD continues to utilize these funds to support accelerating progress in literacy and math, integrating evidence-based practices in health and wellness, and ensuring students stay on track for college and career readiness by supporting credit recovery. These expenditures are outlined in the 26-27 LCAP goals 1, 2, and 4. Specifically, staff conducted a needs assessment that included a review of academic performance in ELA mathematics and chronic absenteeism. LREBG funds support our TOSA student services roles at the elementary and secondary sites. These staff provide both indirect and direct services to staff and students at the site level in alignment with the goals and actions articulated this evening. Additionally, these funds address credit recovery needs for our high school students, including grade improvement to meet A to G requirements. And lastly, Valley Oak High School is a dedicated alternative education campus committed to providing supportive, individualized learning opportunities that empower students to achieve academic and personal success. As a part of our commitment to targeted student support, this year's LCAP highlights the state's LCFF Equity Multiplier Funding, which provides additional resources to Valley Oak High School. These resources are to accelerate student outcomes and address systematic inequities at the school. Valley Oak High School qualifies for the state's specialized equity multiplier funding because it serves as an exceptionally high concentration of students facing economic hardship and mobility. To ensure transparency and strict accountability, Goal 5 of the LCAP specifically addresses the strategic deployment of the equity multiplier funds, directly aligning our resource allocation with evidence-based interventions and career-aligned real-world learning to improve student outcomes for our youth. Actions funded by Equity Multiplier must address all student groups that have the lowest performance level on one or more state indicator on the California dashboard. For Valley Oak, the indicators that we monitor are college and career readiness, English language arts, math, their ELPI progress, graduation rates, and their suspension rates. Every indicator for Valley Oak High School demonstrated growth from 2024 to 2025. Their graduation rate increased from 77.5 to 79.7. Their ELPI increased by close to 5%. Their suspension rate dropped by over 2%. And their CCGI is an area of support, which is why we are providing additional support. I'd like to note that the College and Career Readiness Indicator, most of them require students meet proficiency on the CAS, BLA, or math, and our students who attend Valley Oak attend because they are credit deficient. So achieving the CCGI requires them to meet that, and so it's extremely challenging, and I'll speak to the approach we're taking to help with this particular indicator. When we think about that, this is the distance that our students at Valley Oak are from the standard score. So even though you see 0% here, what we look at is more nuanced and see that from 22-23 to 24-25, we've seen almost a 40-point increase. And I know those are negative numbers, but they're getting closer. What it means is in ELA and in math, although not as much in math, they are approaching the standard more. And so we get down to this nuance level at a school like Valley Oak in order to see, are we making growth even though they may not be meeting the CCGI or meeting proficiency in ELA and math? We always want to be moving the target closer to the standard. So the Equity Multiplier funds support intervention in English and math in order to help them grow towards proficiency. New this year was support for career readiness, as many of our Valley Oak students go directly into the workforce or a certificate program at graduation alongside attending Napa Valley College. The College and Career Readiness team expanded internship offerings to Valley Oak High School students. They participated in internships in 3 NVUSD departments: maintenance and grounds, transportation, and food service during their school day. Students set 4 internship goals during that time and intern 8 hours each week during one pentamester, which is about 5 to 6 weeks. The interns met as a cohort weekly with their counselor, which is part of the counselor's allocation is paid for by equity multiplier funds to run our internship program. And the interns expanded their learning opportunities and skills. We used School Links, which is the tool that monitors it, and they earned over 100 hours each of internship. That concludes our presentation of our actions within the LCAP for 26-27. Tonight's public hearing is an opportunity for input, and we will consider feedback from the public hearing as we present the plan for approval during the board meeting on June 25th, 2026. I have to say before I close that the LCAP is a team effort. There are many actions in this plan that are supported by directors in the instructional team, in the data and assessment team, and the technology team. And none of this could happen without the support of our human resources that staff our classrooms. I'd like to particularly thank this evening Dr. Peter Aboud for his data support, and also Jenna Burrows for her support with the financial components of the LCAP.
Thank you. Before I open for comments for the board, I'm going to go into public hearing. So I am opening public hearing. There's no one who's going to make a comment here. Mr. Michaels, are there any public comments online?
There are no public comments online for this item.
Okay, great. I'm going to close public hearing. All right, trustees, anyone have any comments?
Just a thank you. It's a Herculean. I mean, it's such an enormous effort, and some of us had the privilege of hearing this in curriculum, and I wrote a big thing. I'm not going to do it to everyone tonight. It's late, but I really do want to thank you for taking a document, making it come to life, but being really kind of, you allow us to understand it on all the levels. You also allow us to understand how much work it takes put together, but then you explain the implementation component, and that's why we're all here. And so I do want to express, I think on behalf of all of us, a great deal of gratitude for the tremendous amount of time that it takes to put this together, and ultimately it serves our kids, and it's year after year after year. So, thank you.
All right, Trustee Gonzalez-Morris.
Just briefly, I mean, just the continued growth on how our LCAP gets designed, implemented. I know it's the required thoughtfulness that needs to go into the how and in meeting the needs of our students, but it really, I think, in the document in your presentation just we continue to see more and more alignment with our strategies, our data. You can see the growth. I think that's helpful for you and the team to know where to focus, where the opportunities are. We get to see also the growth and the change. And I think it just continues to just hear you speak right now. I don't know. Amazingly, I woke up. But it's all of it in my brain. I'm just sitting here and just how it's connecting with our strategies, and then all the conversations about data, and then when you go to the school sites and you see the impact. So just all of that, it comes together nicely in this 138-page document. I may have missed a page or two there, but just thank you so much for all that hard work and all that work in between that we don't get to see here every day, culminating into this presentation that also feels long, but that's just a snapshot of what it means to your day-to-day from the team. So thank you, everyone.
No, it's late, no.
Okay. I think Trustee Reiser.
I think I heard my name. Yeah, just briefly, I'll co-sign what my colleagues have said already. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay. Um, by definition, this has to be an incredibly broad scope of a report. So it's sort of difficult to pick out specifics, but I just want to, one specific I'll pick out in particular because we spoke so highly of her and wished her well on her next chapter to Principal Cisneros, the growth at Valley Oak and all the indicators that you shared, Dr. Reddy, is really impressive, and we're grateful for her leadership at that campus, as well as just the laser focus in on those kids who are often furthest from opportunity. So it's gratifying to hear the progress in all of those meaningful areas. It just represents such an amazing collaboration, as you, Dr. Reddy, indicated, across all departments, really, because this is sort of our whole local LCAP, local control accountability plan for, how we are using our resources. And so I just want to thank you for just the enormous work it takes to collect all the stakeholder input, to aggregate and analyze all that input, to look at all the really important benchmark data indicators that we're tracking, to identify which indicators are the most key for us to be keeping our eye on. I always admire the way our organization doesn't shy away from shining the light on the areas of growth that we need to continue to push on. So I really appreciated that focus that we're bringing and continuing to bring for our multilingual learners, in particular our LTELs, but really all of them, that continued push and focus. And just thank you for, I liked Trustee Gonzalez Mares using the word alignment, it's very, I don't think comforting is the right word, but it just feels very good to see the depth of alignment, the depth and breadth of alignment that you bring to this, this broad scope of work and analysis, so that we as a board and the community listening to this presentation and accessing it can really feel very confident that we are being strategic and thoughtful and really laser focused on how do we get the most positive impact out of, admittedly, our limited resources, because we are a public education institution and we're not funded adequately. But we have to do the best we can with the resources that we have. And this presentation just shows how incredibly strategic and thoughtful that resource allocation is. And that's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't think anyone can say that we are not thorough in what you're presented. I think Dr. Musetti has something to say.
Yeah, I just also, I know you've received a lot of gratitude while sitting up there after that very thorough and comprehensive presentation, but I want to put sort of a perspective, a little bit of a comparative perspective. I think one of the challenges that many districts are facing right now is over the course of the last several years, assistant superintendents of instructional services on the educational team side, along with their team of directors that lead all the work when it comes to curriculum, instruction, and services for students, often see the supplemental concentration dollars sort of in isolation. And the local control accountability plan can often be a plan that sits in isolation of the rest of the work of the organization. So like the trustees have so diligently noticed this alignment, I know how much work it takes to not allow supplemental concentration dollars to sort of sit in an isolated box, but to really think about them strategically and in an integrated fashion. And of course, like the trustees have said, you've done that, you and your team have done that through ensuring a high degree of alignment. calling out the connections to across the several strategies in our 15 strategy strategic plan, and then also many of the success indicators that are the success indicators in our 5-year strategic plan from 2024 to 2029 are also the same indicators that you're using to determine whether or not we're getting a return on the investment of those supplemental dollars. So, that's not easy to do, and you and your team are doing it. And I just want to plant the seed for the school board that next week when we go into board annual priority setting, what's great about having a highly trained school board that understands their role, they know that it's important that the priorities set by the school board support and align with the initiatives that you've laid out, because if not, then we're bifurcating the work and we're also spreading our resources thin, not only our resources in terms of monetary fiscal resources, but also time, energy, and the clarity that our team needs. The amount of focus that it takes to do district improvement is serious. So I want to, I know that the board, I know that this board will work hard to make sure that as they set priorities, they're attuning to the content that you presented here tonight. So with that, thank you, Dr. Reddy, for all your labor. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Catching up on my local news because graduation, I was pretty rushed, and there were a lot of accounts of the Napa Valley wine auction. And then at the end of this month, some very big AI investors are going to completely take over Yountville. I'm saying this because we have an international image, don't we? Okay, and our international image, it's great for, it's great. It brings people to the area, that sort of thing. They look around, drop some money, leave. NVUSD unduplicated pupils, approximately 6.83%. Kind of, that would shock many people. And I want to thank you on this comprehensive report. It's very organized. I like to zero in on the telling detail, and what I noticed is that Valley Oka significantly reduced their, suspension rate last year. That's very good news. And I think that's a tribute to the staff over there, making the effort to connect with the kids. And this is a good report. I mean, everyone in the county should read this report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are now on to item K, action items, K1, general services, K1A, resolution 26-25 through 26-30, signature authorizations on behalf of the governing board.
Move to approve.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. May I get a roll call?
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
K1B, nomination of 3 NVUSD programs for the CSBA Golden Bell Award.
Move to approve.
Second?
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K2, Business Services, K2A, Resolution 26-31, authorizing continuation of emergency that requires the procurement of construction services.
Move to approve.
Second?
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. May I get a roll call vote?
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah, I just did Tuesday. Oh. Sorry, I should have gone back to get public comments on K2, actually, all of these, but we'll do K2A, Resolution 26-31. Mr. Michaels, any public comments on that?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you. K2B, Resolution 26-32, authorizing the issuance of sale of the Napa Valley Unified School District Napa, California, election of 2024 general obligation bond Series B, School Facilities Improvement District Number 1, Napa area, and actions related thereto. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
May I get a roll call, please?
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Item K2C, Resolution 26-33, authorizing the issuance and sale of the 2026 general obligation refunding bonds.
Move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
President Chu, I just want to take a moment. Our partners from KNN who serve as our financial advisors are here this evening. I know that they waited for these action items to make sure that if we had any questions, but I just want to thank KNN for their extraordinary work as our financial advisor and for positioning the school district to be able to make these critical transactions possible. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, K2D, agreement with Child Star Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. All in favor? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Public comments. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K2E, purchase and installation of digital marquee sign.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K2F, purchase and installation of Aruba networking equipment with AMS.net.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3, facilities improvement. K3A, agreement with LEA relocation services.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3B, agreement with LEA relocation services at Vintage High School.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3C, contract with Crawford and Associates.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3D, contract with Moore Twining.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3E, contract with Atlas Peak.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3F, contract with Nino and more at Stonebridge, Redwood, and Valley Oak.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3G, contract with JPB Designs, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3H, contract for architectural services with Moda Studios.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3I, contract with Nino and more at Napa and Vintage High Schools.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3J, new weight rooms for Vintage and Napa High Schools.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3K, purchase of furnishing for Ag and Innovation Center.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K4, Human Resources. K4A, request to hire educator less than fully credentialed.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4B, Dominican University Memorandum of Understanding Internship Credential Program.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K5, Instructional Services. K5A, Student Data Privacy and Agreement with Jostens.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5B, Student Data Privacy and Agreement with School Links, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5C, Student Data Privacy Agreement with and Licenses with New Tech Network.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5D, Student Data Privacy Agreement with Clear Vision Technologies.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K5E, Student Data Privacy and Renewal Agreement with Educational Encounters DBA Sylvan Learning.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K5F, student data privacy and renewal agreement with Success for All.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K5G, student data privacy and renewal agreement with Gopher Spark.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K5H, data privacy agreement with vendors through CITI.
Move to approve.
CITE, sorry. CITE.
No. Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5I, ratification of agreement with WestEd.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5J, renewal memorandum of understanding with the city of Napa.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K6, operational services. K6A, agreement with Incident IQ.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K6B, agreement with Mass JB Mechanical.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. Item L, informational. L1, general services. L1A, curriculum and student support committee. The minutes are attached. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay. L1B, facilities and technology committee. The minutes are attached. Mr. Michaels, any public comments on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay. L1C, finance committee. We met, but the minutes will be provided at our next regular meeting. L1D, policy committee. There was no meeting. L2, business services. L2A, warrant register for accounts payable checks issued by NVUSD. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you. Item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent. Okay, seeing none, we will go to item N, future agenda items. None again. Okay, item O, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
First by trustee Martin, second by trustee Jankowicz. All in favor? Aye. Okay, opposed, abstained? Okay, motion passes. And we're adjourned.